Hi, my name is Michelle Lee, and this is a yoga dance that I wrote for a class I took at Pacifica Graduate Institute, a class in Maren Hansen's class called Myth of Psychological Development. Through this yoga dance, I'll be depicting two parts of the myth of Inanna: her placement of the holy gifts of May upon her body, and the slow release of the gifts of May as she moves down into the underworld. So the first part of the dance, I'll be enacting the placement of each of the seven May, which I see at the centers of the chakras along the spine. She first places the crown, the steep of the grasslands upon her head in the crown, the seventh chakra. And then across her forehead and her eyes, she has the locks that lay down, opening the third eye, and the vision, the ointment of come men come. Later I put down the necklaces, one that drapes along her throat at the throat chakra, and then another one that drapes down, protecting the heart center. The third gift of May is the breastplate that she puts on, this empowering, this will to move forward, that is the heart protector, and here in the home of the solar plexus. Finally, it moves down into the placement of the bangles at her wrists, which are which reside in the creative center at her second chakra. And then finally, the first chakra, the rooting chakra, the sounding rod and line that extends through the whole axis of her spine. So the first part of the dance is her placement of the May as her sense of personal agency, her awakening to the conscious awakening to the psyche spirit that resides inside of her body tissues. The second part of the dance leads to Inanna listening and hearing the call to descend into the underworld, into the realm of Gagal, the underworld experience. This is very much like our own calls when we awaken to in our consciousness, and our call to descend down into the psyche, as acknowledging a sense that there is a different intelligence. There's the ego-mind intelligence that leads us forward, and yet there's this conscious awareness that needs to happen so that we can descend down into the spirit and the wisdom that resides within the inherent wisdom and intelligence that's living within the body tissues. So through the second part of the dance, it's Inanna's slow descent through the seven gates of the underworld as she releases each of the gifts of May, but in the process of knocking and asking what is asked of me, she's instructed to lift off each of the gifts of May off of the seven positions of her chakra. But in that process, she's not giving it away, losing her personal agency, but rather absorbing it and imbuing it into her body so that it can carry that wisdom down with her when she meets Gagal in the underworld. So that there's always that spark even at her death, what appears to be on the cross at the end of the dance. There's that spark of what has been absorbed in her tissuous wisdom that will be the motivating factor, that death that's in service of the new life that eventually will rise her out of the underworld experience again.